People had this picture-perfect thing that it was going to be sunshine and rainbows, and he was going to have a whole lot of one-on-ones. It's Odell Beckham. He's going to have double coverage. We have to find ways to format things to get him the ball and force feed him early on to where he can make an impact before we can, have the perfect look to give him a shot play. And I think that's something that we learned the hard way. But I think as the weeks have gone on, we're continuing to improve on how to get the ball to him.
That is Baker Mayfield, Cleveland Browns quarterback, talking about the latest strategy for getting the football into the hands of Odell Beckham Jr. And look, Chris, I continue to take the position that you shouldn't worry about who's getting the ball. The open man gets the ball. I don't like the idea of force-feeding Odell Beckham Jr. because you're telling the world that's what you're going to do. So now early in games, what are defenses going to do? They're going to key on Odell Beckham Jr. even more.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, and you're right to a degree. I mean, you don't want to force-feed somebody to where it takes you out of the rhythm of your offense, but we knew when Rob Gronkowski was playing for the New England Patriots, they were going to try to throw the ball to Rob Gronkowski. And teams were going, we're going to double Rob Gronkowski today. And then we'd look up and we go, damn, Rob Gronkowski had 7 catches for 120 yards. And they said they were going to double team him today. What the hell happened? And to what else you're saying too, sometimes when you feature a guy like that, and I know you've heard me say this before, it starts to make a defensive team that's playing him go, oh, we got to put more eggs into the let's stop Odell Beckham Jr. basket, and that can lead to more balls for everybody else. My big thing with them is I think they need to move him around more. As far as bunches and stacks, make it hard for teams to double team him and things like that, to where he comes through the trash of 2 or 3 wide receivers and it's kind of like, oh, we don't know where he's going to end up, instead of just making him a stationary, oh, he's lined out to the outside on the left. They're making it a little too easy on defenses to key on him that way, and that's where I would like to see a change. He's double covered here, but Baker Mayfield just said the hell with it. It's Odell, and I'm going to just throw a back shoulder ball that he can get his hands on and go from it there. Even there, I believe he might have been bracketed by a safety on the other side. But to my point, and what I'm saying, you're seeing he's lined up on the outside every time. Pittsburgh didn't do that with Antonio Brown. They would move him, motion him next to other receivers to make it hard for teams to double him because it messes up their communication, their calls, everything like that.
Did the Giants do that with him?
They not as much as they should have, but they did, yes. They definitely did. They found ways to move him around when they wanted to get him the ball. And, the other thing is, I will always say this about Eli Manning. Eli Manning, when he saw Odell Beckham Jr. one-on-one, the ball was going there. It didn't matter. So he would go, the hell with the damn play. It's Odell one-on-one. I like the matchup. I'm going to do that. And he learned that very quick, that could be a very successful formula. Now, towards the end, it hurt a little bit because Eli didn't always want to stand in the pocket and maybe take the shot deep down the field, or maybe not even have the arm to launch it deep down the field. So that's where it kind of fell off at the end. But yes, the Giants in his heyday there, they were moving him around definitely more than he's moving around right now.
Well, and here's the other side of it as well. He may not be comfortable in these other spots, right? I mean, receivers aren't always comfortable in the X, the Y, and the Z. Sometimes, I go to the left side. I want the left side. I don't want the right side. I don't want to be in the slot. This is the spot that I'm the most comfortable in getting the play started. Now, we see him on the outside on either side, but it may just be he's not as comfortable operating out of the slot, Chris.
Yeah, maybe, but I think he'll be comfortable anywhere once he goes, oh, the play design's for me, and it's kind of creative, and it's going to give me some space or create a one-on-one. That's where I just don't see, where's Odell Beckham Jr. over the middle? Why don't we ever see deep crosses to Odell Beckham Jr. and things like that? And that comes a lot of times with okay, here's 2 receivers, and here's Odell Beckham Jr. getting in the bunch, and these 2 receivers go vertical and do something, and he kind of plays off behind them, and the defense doesn't know, is he going to go right or is he going to go left? I don't know what he's going to do. And then he breaks it off for a deep cross or, something of that nature is really what I'm just trying to say. And I know Freddie Kitchens has got his hands full. Baker Mayfield's still learning on the fly. But I do think ultimately that's the thing that I would like to change about them and Odell right now.
And that's really the bottom line. It's not Odell Beckham Jr. all of a sudden not being one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Right.
The Browns haven't figured out how to properly use him.
Right.
They haven't designed the plays. They haven't used the creativity that is available to them. I don't know what they expected would happen. I think they just thought it would be automatic and it would be simple and it would be easy. And sometimes when you have a great receiver like that, it makes it harder for the coach. It makes it harder for the quarterback because he's so different than what you're used to. Everybody else is just interchangeable parts.
Right.
There's Odell Beckham Jr. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
When is he truly open? A lot of times when he's double covered, like you showed earlier, he still is open and he's going to make the catch. You just have to trust him and throw it to him.
Yeah, you do. And, it's something that goes to the offseason, too, and maybe that's where Odell deserves a little blame, too, where you have him there and you tinker with ideas and OTAs and things like that to find ways to get him the ball.
That's the closest you've ever come to criticizing him. I'm proud of you. You've shown growth. You've shown maturity.
I am. I'm getting there.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.